Hey everyone, today we are going to be doing something special because I just received something in the mail. This, let's have a look. I think this is about the biggest thing I've ever had sent in the mail. It's actually really nicely packaged and it seems like it's really secure. Here's the good stuff. So this is a bass guitar made by Donner. Donner makes a huge variety of musical instruments and equipment, guitar pedals, cables, piano stuff, ukuleles. It's definitely geared at beginners or people looking into getting into certain instruments. The thing is, if you look up the reviews, it's a lot higher quality than a lot of other beginner instruments out there. So I'm pretty excited to try this out. All right, so this bass comes with a cable. It comes with a couple small Allen wrenches to do any adjusting you might need to. It also comes with a pretty decent soft case and a strap. All right, there we have it. So this is just the Donner bass standard series. Yeah, it's basically, you can see just from looking at it, it's like a clone of a Fender P bass basically. All right, so it plays pretty decently. It needs to be set up maybe a little better. The action is pretty high even for a bass right now. And I can feel like along the neck of the bass here, like the frets kind of stick out. So you kind of get some of that like scratchy feeling as you're moving up and down. The neck itself feels pretty good though. It's almost like unfinished wood, but feels pretty great actually. There you have it. A lot of you might not know, I actually don't usually use a real bass for my videos. I don't actually own a bass guitar. I've played a lot of bass in the past. I did bass guitar for a dance show called Burn the Floor. Let me get this set up and yeah, let's just see how it sounds. I'm gonna run it through some programs and yeah, it should be cool. All right, it is actually a new day, but now I am all set up. I'm running this Donner bass into a audio interface, which I have going into my DAW, and I'm running Bias FX2 for all my bass sounds. And I just thought I'd play a little bit and kind of show you some of the sounds I can get out of this. It's pretty neat. Okay, so I've loaded up a sound that's pretty basic, just like for rock bass stuff. There's a little bit of line noise, but it's actually something from my audio interface I need to work out. It's not from the bass. It sounds good with and without a pick. Right now I have the volume all the way up and the tone all the way up. Or for a $100 bass, like, I mean, it plays pretty great and it sounds really nice too. Let me show you a little bit with context, and also I'm gonna show you another cool tone that I dialed in. First without a pick. So here's the sound again. Let me play with the pick. Sounds great. Sounds nice and tight that way. I also have a little bit of the track, the Final Countdown, the swing version I did, and I just wanted to play a little bit of that with this tone. I dialed off the tone a little bit so it's a little more mellow for this, and let's hear how it sounds. There's a little less attack this way. show you one more more rock tone I dialed in. This is a bass tone with a little bit of distortion now. Yeah, it sounds killer. And you know, it plays really great. I honestly can't believe that this bass is $100. If you're just getting into bass guitar, then this is honestly a perfect instrument. It's a great deal, plays great, sounds great. I'm having a lot of fun trying out this bass. So I'm gonna keep playing, and maybe you'll even see this in one of my upcoming music videos. I wanna play around with it a little more, and then I'll get back to you and I'll tell you all my final thoughts about this bass.
One eternity later.
Well, I've had a ton of fun jamming with this bass for the past few days, but remember when I said that the frets weren't perfectly smooth and it wasn't that big of a deal? Well, it turns out it was a little bit bigger of a deal, because after playing for several hours, it really started to kind of cut up my hands a little bit. It wasn't really terrible, but it was making them kind of sore. So I realized I needed to fix this if I was gonna keep playing this bass this much. So I just went on Amazon and found this really cheap fret file. It was like 20 bucks. And I watched like a 2-minute video on YouTube on how to file down frets correctly. And I wouldn't recommend just going for it like this on a more expensive instrument, but for this guitar, I mean, it was $100. So I just started filing them down till it just felt right. I kind of scuffed up the wood a tiny bit on certain parts of the finish, but it plays so much better now. It's amazing. It's a night and day difference. And I really just want to play even more bass now. So if you're going to get this bass to be using like in a home studio and you're going to be playing it a lot, I would recommend investing in something like that, because it's just going to take this bass to the next level. It doesn't feel like a cheap $100 bass anymore. It feels like a mid-range instrument. So after I got that sorted out, I wanted to try it and just play it a bunch more. So this time I loaded in my DAW a plugin by Neural DSP called Parallax. And I'm just getting to know it, so I don't know the settings too well, but it does distorted bass tones amazingly well. So you can definitely expect to hear this bass guitar on some of my really epic videos coming up. And I think that's really saying a lot, that this $100 bass guitar can hold its own on recordings like that. I'd say it's actually pretty comparable to a lot of lower to mid-range instruments. I've also done a few other review videos on my channel, mainly focusing on beginner or entry-level gear for playing or for your home studio. So go watch those videos and look for this bass in another upcoming video of mine. Also, be sure to subscribe, because coming up I'm going to be doing a video touring my home studio. So that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.